Shalom, call Halayam La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sincere Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone Miami camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. The Lord willing, this lesson is edifying unto the elect. This lesson is going to be based upon this post that you see from the YouTube channel called Now This Impact, which happened to come across my feed, okay, what the algorithm suggested. And Lord willing, I'm going to title this lesson something along the lines of the liberals make a good point. The liberals make a good point. Okay, the Dems, the Democrats, they're speaking out against this whole ICE situation and calling out the hypocrisy of these so-called conservative Edomites, which is liberal Edomites calling out conservative Edomites, the Dems calling out the Republicans, which of course we know, us that are in the truth, us Hebrew Israelites, we're apolitical. We don't subscribe to any political affiliation, the left nor the right, because we understand that there's just two wings of the same bird, and it's all a part of Esau's system, which is all going down together, and both sides work together for the same agendas. Both sides are owned and controlled by the same powers that be, okay, which are the global elite, which are small hatters, okay. But this just shows that Esau's house is truly divided from every angle you want to slice it. Okay, the small hatters are against the regular Edomites against the small hatters, Babylon against the NATO nations, the EU, the European nations, right? The Eastern Edomites against the which are the Russians, against the Western Edomites, which are the Europeans and Western Europe, the British Edomites and the American Edomites, and the Democrats against the Republicans, the rich versus the poor Edomites. Okay, so they're completely through, and as the scriptures say, if Satan's house be divided, it cannot stand but hath an end. So we're living to see the downfall of our enemy right before our eyes, and again, it's a beautiful thing to witness. Okay, and excuse my nose, I'm a little stuffed up if I sound nasally. But yeah, the liberals, they make a great point in calling out these MAGAs, these maggers, okay? And we know that the conservative so-called Republican Edomites, they oftentimes make a little more sense than the liberals, because they have a shadow of righteousness. They have they put on the mask of righteousness. They promote certain things that may seem to be biblical at first glance. They don't push a lot of the weirdo shit that the left pushes, like the alphabet movement and things of that nature, the woke shit. So oftentimes we may agree with a lot of things that come out on the right against the left, but in this case, in this scenario, the left is making good points. Again, showing the hypocrisy of Esau as a whole, because the right is supposed to have a again, they're supposed to show like they're holy in a sense, which is just good cop versus bad cop, and they swing back and forth to manipulate the people. That red and blue is just, red and blue makes purple, which is the color of royalty, showing you the true kings of the earth control both sides, and they play on people's minds that with that red and blue, it's created to divide people. But you have these Trumpers for years have been saying that they are all about freedom and rights and liberty and all of that. But here you are today, we're seeing them go totally in support for ICE kicking in people's doors, snatching people up, detaining people, going around asking people for papers, right? Which we know it has nothing to do with the whole immigrant thing. That's just a smokescreen. That's just a Trojan horse. And it's going to lead to the average everyday American. These ICE agents, first of all, ICE was set up after 9/11, which we know that whole thing was a psyop, a big false flag set up to bring about a whole lot of draconian measures that they are going to use in these times. Okay? But ICE is the modern day Gestapo. ICE is the frontline soldiers for the NWO. Really, that's what we're seeing. And these Trumpers can't see that. They can't see what this is leading to. In their pride and in their hatred for Jake, they refuse to see the truth. Okay? So there's some posts. Look at this first post, right? It says, turns out a significant amount of Americans want to live in a dystopian police state. Okay, remember, these posts are from people on the left, which the left, they were the ones pushing mostly the jab. So they have made a reputation of really pushing for a dystopian police state and whatnot. Okay? But this is what they're saying about the right, because you have this guy, this MAGger, posted a picture of his papers on his dash with the MAGA hat, saying, "This is how I drive to work every day." Basically saying, I got my papers, I'm good, I ain't worried about nothing. As long as I show my papers, I got my papers on display, I don't have to worry about ICE. In full support of Trump, right? Which the whole point that the Libs are making is, why do you want to live in a world that you have to do that? Why do you want to have to live in a world where you have to have papers on you all the damn time? And that's a great point. Who wants to live like that? That's like walking around, people ask where your slave papers. That's a form of removing your rights, because what if I don't want to carry my papers? I was born here. I'm an American citizen. I shouldn't have to do that in my own country. Have to identify myself all the damn time. But we know this is what this is going to lead to. The MOTB. Because then they're going to say, well, you won't have to carry no papers with you. And these MAGAs going to be lining up for that Krogman. Because they're going to say, oh, well, this proves that I'm American. What's wrong with it? Okay, next post. MAGA went from V passports are fascism to why aren't brown people walking around with their papers in just a few years. You see that? These same people that were speaking up against the digital IDs when it came to the V's are now saying that we should all just walk around with papers. But this goes to show you that both sides are pushing you towards the same end goal. Next one says, look, libtard. Well, this is in quotations, right? This is a mocking of what the right has been saying over the years. Look, libtard, it's simple. You're safe as long as you do what the men with guns say. You see that? That's what the conservatives are saying. Over the past few months since this ICE situation has been going on. You're good as long as you do what they say. You see that? So now the ones that have been pushing for freedom are now pushing like he replied, hey man, that's called authoritarianism. Now they're pushing for authoritarianism, whether they know it or not. They're saying just obey. Oh, you just listen to ICE, you won't have a problem, right? You have a tweet from Trump. I promise not to do this from Greenland, which I don't know if that's real or not, right? Probably is. You know how Trump get down. He's a devil, right? They post all type of crazy shit. Okay, next one says, suburban Minnesota women are dropping hundreds of dollars on food and toiletries for illegal so they don't have to leave their homes. Imagine being married to this, right? So this is a conservative post, and they're saying like this woman is basically a traitor, right? But at the same time, MAGA will say people should practice Jesus's teachings. Libs say okay. MAGA say no, not like that, right? Because that's their whole philosophy behind so-called JC, right? Just feeding homeless people, being nice to everybody, right? That's what they push. So what would be wrong with that? Again, showing out their hypocrisy. Okay. Homeland Security post. Reminder, if you lay a finger on a federal officer or agent, you will face the full extent of the law. Someone responded, but if you R-word baby goats, you know what I mean by baby goats, the kids, right? You will face the full extent of the Trump administration's protection. Why are they saying that? Because of this whole Epstein thing that's going on. That these files that still have not been released, that we know there's a bunch of politicians throughout it that Trump said before he got in office he would release, and yet they still haven't been released. They keep playing around, oh, we're going to release this and that, and they just release shit that has already been out. Release shit with a bunch of words redacted. So obviously Trump administration is protecting these people. And they're from people on the left and the right. At the end of the day, more hypocrisy, right? It says next, someone tweeted, the only thing safe in the US right now are the Epstein files. Right. Okay, another one. Women talking to women friends like, oh, yeah, I guess I technically did get raped, but I'm busy right now, so I don't have time to worry about that. Okay, so I don't know exactly what they mean by that one. All right. Another one. When your boss's income has risen 937% since 1978 and yours has increased by only 5.7%, it's time to stop blaming minorities for your woes. Right. You have these Edomites on the right that want to blame so-called minorities, Jake in particular, so-called Negroes and Latinos, for all their issues, for the reason they're poor, for the reason they can't take month-long vacations twice a year and buy their dream car and their dream home and not have to live paycheck to paycheck. They want to blame Jake for that, not the Edomites that are above them that are hoarding all the wealth. They don't want to point the finger at their real enemy. Why? Again, because they want a reason to hate Jake. It's simple as that. Straight up hypocrisy. Okay. Another one. You can thank Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation, and the Christian Reich dreams for literally everything you're watching unfold right now. And that's right. That's right. So, again, this devil hypocrisy is being called out by the devil himself. One half of the devil is calling out the other half for being the devil. Showing you this man is being exposed on a great scale. As the scriptures say, Esau is spoiled. His thigh is being uncovered. Shameful spewing is coming upon his glory. Okay, so they're making great points. As the old proverb goes, a broken clock is right twice a day. So I didn't have any scriptures lined up, but we'll not grab this. What's that? Isaiah 10, I believe. It's another Isaiah. Isaiah 32, right? Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Okay, you go apply this to Esau. This whole country was supposed to be formed on liberty, freedom. Okay, right? Not anymore. That shit is gone. These same devils that would, as a matter of fact, I wanted to read too some comments from this post. People was making good comments as well. Okay, they went from don't V to tread on me, daddy, real quick. Exactly. I don't mind you treading on me, so as long as you tread harder on the people I hate. Exactly. That sums it up. That's how these devils feel. They don't have a problem with the government enforcing their unrighteous decrees on them, as long as they come down harder on Jake. Showing you this man knows his kingdom is going down, as long as everybody goes down with him. And he as long as he could go down at the last, as long as he could be the last one to go down. Okay, remember when V cars were literally 1984 by these same types? The "don't tread on me" freedom crowd sure are quick to adopt the militarized tyrannical surveillance state. Right? The "don't tread on me" crowd, that's supposed to be the right. That's a saying that they have. Don't tread on me. Don't impede on my civil liberties. They have the symbol with the serpent, which of course goes back to Esau, goes back to the garden, really. That's their symbol, that serpent. If you look up that phrase, "don't tread on me." Okay. Somebody else commented, they'll think they won't be personally affected until they will be. Right. The same people that supported January 6th insurrections now have been telling anti-fascism protesters, if you obey and comply, you won't die. These people have never been about freedom or liberty. They've been about having a white Christian nationalist ethno-state and oppressing / unaliving anyone who isn't. You see that? That's all it's about. So here we are this is how you know we're at the end of this man's kingdom. Because everything he's claimed to be for, everything they claimed that this country stood for from the very beginning, it's now being shown that that was all bullshit. It's all clearly being shown to be straight up bullshit. They're not Christian. They're not righteous people. They're not holy. They're racist, hateful, miserable devils. And they don't mind having their liberties taken away from them, as long as Jake gets done dirty in the process. Okay. So going back, verse 6, Isaiah 32:6, for the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. There you go. That's Esau in a nutshell. The American Edomite. Okay. And to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry. Right, who's the soul of the hungry? You got all these Jakes coming over here, these different tribes coming over here looking for what? Help. Looking for the so-called American dream, looking for a better life. And Esau's terrorizing them. Esau goes over to their country, totally destroys it, flips it upside down, so that they have no choice but to try to go to a better place. And they come over here and get trapped, get carted off in the middle of the night, taking the alligator Alcatraz. Okay, become gator bait, which is spiritual in itself. And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. Right? What are his instruments? Ice is part of his instruments. Alligator Alcatraz. That MOTB, which is coming very soon. Okay. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. All right, what's those lying words? Oh, we stand for freedom. We stand for liberty. Okay, this is going to make the country, this is going to make America great again.
So even when you speak truth to this devil, even when you call him out on his hypocrisy, he doubles and triple downs on it. The NLT says the smooth tricks of scoundrels are evil. They plot crooked schemes. They lie to convict the poor, even when the cause of the poor is just. All right. So it's just something I wanted to highlight. This is something I thought was quite interesting. I wanted to bring it out. And I end on that. Lord, and it was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai. To the next one, Shalom.